Hey, it's great to have you here again. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name's Clint, and if you don't know who I am, I'm a digital forensics and incident response expert with over 20 years in IT, 10 of that being in cybersecurity. And I've made the shift into AI, and I'm now focusing on AI cybersecurity research to hopefully stop breaches that I've seen occur hundreds and hundreds of times in traditional applications, and now what we're seeing in AI applications being developed, being deployed. And I'm trying to get on the front foot and help the community and help enterprises prevent breaches from happening that are unnecessary and can be avoided. Today, I want to walk through two things. First, the upgrade journey that I've had from my old NVIDIA 1666 gigabyte card to a new NVIDIA 5080 card with 16 gigs of RAM. This has been massive, and the wait for this in the post, even though it was only about a week, felt like forever. And during that time, I was running a pen test using PromptFoo, one of my favorite automated AI red teaming tools, against a model that I was running locally on my machine. And it took about 7 days, which is just nuts compared to the previous red team that I was running against our AI chatbot on a website hosted in N8N. So that's just a little bit of context, but I didn't realize that it would be such a huge upgrade from what it was. Here we are. The upgrade has happened. I'm over the moon. And the fact that it's so fast, I've kind of been unsure what to do first. So today I got the card installed, and despite some hardware challenges, I actually had to remove a fan from the case because the card was, well, it's almost this long. And the fan for the radiator for the water-cooled CPU was just in the way, just a smidgen. So I've taken that fan out, we're good to go, and I've gotten to work. So when I was running the old LLM test, I was using that through Ollama, and Ollama was great. Then when I installed the NVIDIA drivers, it talks about how the card is optimized for LM Studio. I didn't spend too much time researching it. I just thought, hey, let's just use LM Studio. Let's get into it. I'm really keen. Let's see what this thing can do. What I noticed, and this isn't a review of the graphics card, but what I noticed at the start was that the graphics card ran heaps cooler. Heaps being about 20 degrees Celsius. So that was a massive difference from the get-go. It's summertime at the moment in Australia. It's a concern. I'm not running air conditioning in the office here. So I've just got the overhead fan that'll turn on when it gets super hot. And it being 20 degrees cooler, I suspect that I will be able to get even more performance. What did happen as I started to run more long queries and it kind of broke itself in, it did start to creep up a little by about 10 degrees. So it got to about 53 degrees, especially when generating output, running through inference. But first impressions, incredible. And the next thing that I looked at is where are the conversations stored? So I'm running the GPT OSS 20 billion model. So that's from OpenAI. This is their free model that I can run locally, and you can run locally too. And I thought, let's give that a go. Because that's what I was using on Ollama. I really want to run a test that's very, very similar, if not the same, using PromptFoo through LM Studio. And I'll run that through the API when I can spare a minute and get it going. And I will get it going. But the first thing I wanted to figure out is where are the conversations stored? So I asked the model itself, where are the conversations stored on the logs? And when I did that, it gave me an answer and said that the log files were stored in app. This is on Windows, app data, roaming, LM Studio, logs. There is a log file in there. That log, though, is not actually what I need. What it is given me is this. It's main.log. So if we bring this over, what is in main.log? The first thing, we've got a date and timestamp, which is excellent. It's what we want to see. It's very helpful. And then as we go through this, okay, it's good. It's good diagnostic data. This is my user profile here. This is not really what I wanted. As you would say, where are the conversations? The conversations are actually stored somewhere completely different. And finding this out now is great. But what happened before is I was following the instructions, and what it told me to do, because the logs weren't in the location that they specified, it told me to go and modify the configuration file. This was the config.json. And so I did that. And then I saved it, restarted LM Studio, and nothing. Couldn't open it. Deleted the file, rebooted, opened LM Studio, and then it opened. So that was great. What happened was, once it opened, it regenerated the file, and the file that I was putting the settings into, all it was for Windows settings. What I did find is that just in LM Studio, just looking at chats, the chat itself, and then click on Show in File Explorer, and then it shows you, it takes you straight there. So the location of the conversation in LM Studio on disk is under your user profile, .lm Studio, conversations, AI pentests in this case, because I created a project folder called AI pentests. So if we crack it open, here we go. I know I've got this cut off, but it's got act as a prompt foo and pentest expert. You have two systems. So this is me asking how to get set up again with LM Studio, because I want to get the pentest running using LM Studio and prompt foo. And prompt foo is installed in a Linux box on a VM that's running Ubuntu, and I need some instructions on how I can get the API talking. Okay, so we've got decode here. Let's put this in. This is directly from the log file. Numeric, decode. There we go. What have we got? So if we keep it at numeric, and then we look at Unix, so it's Unix time. So it's a Unix time format, which is awesome. So created that. Yeah, that makes sense. So that correlates with what we've got. And then if we look at user last message that, drop this one in, and then 1631. So we now know that in the number.conversation.json file, which is what's here, and this actually explains the reason for that number. I was wondering what this was before, but now I've just figured it out. So that's actually a timestamp in Unix time .conversation.json, which is very, very interesting. I don't know why they would do this on Windows. However, here we are. So that's a little mystery that is answered. Then if we scroll down, what else is in the log file? It's telling us the model that is in use. So that's fantastic. That's a great little artifact that could be used to correlate evidence as well. So you might correlate this with web browsing and tying it into some proxy logs or internet history logs, showing a pattern where the LM Studio was downloaded. Then we have records of the model that was downloaded as well, tied into search history, whatever you might have. That's all I've got. That's what I wanted to share. So going from the 1660 NVIDIA 6 gig card to a 5080 with 16 gigs of RAM is a huge difference, and I would recommend it if you're running a local LLM. I'm getting about 50 tokens per second, up to about 112 tokens per second. So it's huge. Now the cost of the card is a lot, and it would take me a long time to recoup that if I was just focusing on what it costs every month to pay ChatGPT and pay Anthropic, Claude for what we're getting there. But the difference is when people say, oh no, ChatGPT's gone down, oh no, Cloudflare bumped this off the internet, it doesn't matter for me. I've got the local model. The difference is I'm running a 20 billion parameter model. ChatGPT 4.1, for example, is about 175 billion parameters. there is a huge difference in the calculation of what it can do. At this point in time, I don't know whether that's enough. I don't know whether that's going to be a problem. If it is a problem, I'm not going to go and invest $10,000 on an A100 NVIDIA card. That's a bit rich for me. It's beyond my budget of what I want to spend. But for security testing and what I can get right now and experiment and debug and find logs and where this is all located, this is very, very helpful. So I hope this was really helpful for you. Please like and subscribe to the channel, help it grow. We've just hit 100 subscribers. So that's really exciting, and I'd love to keep generating content and sharing it with you. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye for now.